Bring you this story. Government Employees Pension Fund has a backlog of unclaimed pension funds. Some of them date back to the 1980s and the 1990s. These unclaimed benefits are defined as monies unpaid for longer than 24 months after the exit date, where the mode of exit is unknown. Government Employers Pension Fund is Africa's largest such fund. The latest figures show that the total unclaimed benefits is around 760 million rand. That's $750 million. That's quite a big chunk of money. We're joined now this hour by Musa Mabesa, the Principal Executive Officer at the Government's Employees Pension Fund, to give us more insight on this. Mr. Mabesa, good afternoon. Thank you very much for your time. I mean, the numbers are staggering, and under the circumstances of this new world that we live in, one wonders how can people be able to access these unclaimed benefits? What is the fund doing to create awareness about them?
Good afternoon, Dan, and good afternoon to your viewers. Dan, unclaimed benefits is a concern for us as the fund. What we're doing about it, firstly, education is the most important. However, before we educate, the employer needs to assist us as well in the process of compiling the correct information for our members when they're still in active service. We encourage our members and pensioners to update their contact information on our website and through the app that we have available. So education and constant communication assists us with that, Chair.
Yeah, what's the major cause or reason behind these unclaimed benefits? Why so much money just sitting there, nobody has claimed it, when people, while they were working for government, did contribute to the fund?
So then the biggest concern is data, where we are unable to trace beneficiaries. Second, followed by a lack of nomination forms by members when they're still in active service, so we're unable to trace the beneficiaries. However, where we do know the beneficiaries themselves, we struggle to reconcile some of the data that we have on our systems with what they've submitted. Sometimes there are bank validation rejections where the banking details they've provided to us are incorrect. In other instances, there are disputed cases where the members' beneficiaries are in dispute themselves. The other issues relate to tax administration matters, where there are tax issues of the member or the beneficiary that prevents us from making payment.
What happened in a case where there was a government employee who since passed away and their family members were not even aware that there is such a benefit? Where do they go, for example, or is that not applicable? If somebody has already passed away, it doesn't apply to them?
So it does apply to us where there are beneficiaries, and depending on the status of the member, there will definitely be benefits due to a spouse or other nominated beneficiaries. They can log on to the GEPF website, or they can alternatively call the GEPF to find out if there are any benefits due. And our number is 0800 117 669, or through the GEPF website, www.gepf.co.za. Alternatively, they can send an email to unclaimedbenefit@gpaa.gov.za.
There's a lot of information there, but there are those avenues that are available. One of the points you've mentioned is that you don't have enough information, you can't verify information in respect of the beneficiaries of deceased members. And if the deceased did not fill in the form, how are you going to make good on their claim if they come up and say, I know that my mom, my dad worked in this government institution so many years ago, they've passed on, and then there's no beneficiary form, so you can't make any payout there?
So we appoint tracing agents as well as part of our strategy to reduce unclaimed benefits, where they will investigate the history of the claimant and see if there's a link between the claimant and the member. We reach out to the employer as well and go out to communities to try and locate these beneficiaries and do our own research and due diligence through Home Affairs and any other information that is available to us to link the potential beneficiaries to the deceased member in this case.
Yeah, and in this case, of course, in these cases and others, it's a process that can take some time from what you have just said. So you got 760 million rand sitting there, unclaimed benefits. You want people to come up and claim. What other message, if somebody's listening to this interview now, watching us, what other message would you give out there to make sure that people do claim?
So where there are beneficiaries who are aware that any of their relatives or parents, be it parents, were government employees, they should reach out to the GEPF via the mediums that I've provided to inquire about such benefits. Sometimes where there are minor children involved, you find that the benefits have already been transferred to the Guardians Fund. So that's another avenue to check, but it does start with the GEPF. But we do have instances of beneficiaries that are outstanding and we can't trace them at all.
Okay, but I mean, if somebody, also final question, very quickly, don't have much time, somebody who can't have an online capacity, has no data, has no connectivity, can they go to a GEPF office?
They can go to a GEPF office. We've got offices across the country in all 9 provinces, and there's also regional offices branded GEPF.
Thank you very much. That's Musa Mabesa, the principal officer, executive officer rather, at the Government Employees Pension Fund. Well, if you do know you have somebody who might have been worked in government long ago, you're not sure whether or not there was any claim made and whether they had a form or not, go to a local office and just tell them who they are. Maybe you've got their ID number and they can start helping you. And they also have a tracing capacity to try and make sure that the unclaimed benefit is paid to the right person if it has to be paid. But their job is to make sure that unclaimed benefits do get paid out.